Sasuke returns to the Boruto manga and he actually threatens to kill Boruto. Eida arrives at Konoha and the look on Amado's face is priceless, an expression of sheer terror as we get to see what she's actually capable of in combat. This is Boruto Chapter 69 and I gotta applaud the writing here. A lot of it is kind of like comical romance, but it's also like really fun in the same respect, and it's counterbalanced by the sheer terror that Shikimaru and Amado are facing right now. It's like a whirlwind of emotions. You're like laughing, you're simping out, and you're also like completely terrified for these characters whose lives are being threatened. So Eida is a cyborg that Amado has created, and for the most part, she's just been hanging out in Bug's little secret headquarters this entire time. But Code brings her in through one of his claw marks, and now she is helping Code accomplish his goals simply because she wants Kawaki. She's like in love with him or has a crush on him, and that's enough for her to come in and start using her power on everybody in the room. So her power is literally just the aura of infatuation. You cannot attack her, and we even see that Delta tries to kick her in the very beginning of the chapter, and this infatuation works on Delta as well. Delta literally cannot attack her foot stops mid-air, and Amado goes into a little bit of a deeper explanation as to what Eida's powers actually are. But we still don't really know, like, is it a bloodline limit? Is this just some cyborg ability? I feel like it has to be some sort of bloodline limit, like maybe Amado fused someone's cells into her or something like that, or maybe she was born this way and then he also converted her into a cyborg or something. I'm not really sure, but check out this panel. So Delta's leg stops mid-air and Eida says, "You're flashing me, dear. I can see your panties." And yo, it kind of reminds me of One Punch Man in a bit, how like it can be serious, it can be funny, and then you can also get completely infatuated with like Fubuki and Tatsumaki and things like that. So I actually like this a lot. It's fun, it's kind of fresh, and we haven't really seen an ability like this in Naruto before. So this is a very strange one. I mean, Eida and Damon basically have these passive abilities where you cannot attack them. And they are siblings, so it would make a little bit more sense that this could be some sort of bloodline limit and not just some cyborg enhancement. What I like so much about this chapter is the feeling of terror. The expressions on Shikimaru and Amado's face really kind of put you in the driver's seat to feel those emotions as well. I mean, it's kind of hard at the same time because you're like fangirling out over Eida, like she's so cute, and you actually can't help but like her character and like her, which is fun because it's like not only is that her ability in the actual manga, but it kind of works on the viewer as well simply by reading this. And I think for the majority of viewers of the Boruto manga right now, Eida is best girl. So we have this little exchange between Boruto and Sasuke, where Sasuke says stopping Momoshiki's rage was my responsibility as your teacher, and they have this back and forth kind of talking about the fact that Kawaki was the one that killed Boruto, and Sasuke also explains how that's going to cause everyone to hate Kawaki, and that he is essentially eating all of the hate of Konoha. He wants to kind of consume all of that hate, I guess, to enforce more peace, and that's why he's not really around so much either. So if everybody finds out what Kawaki did, even though Boruto asked him to do it, it would make more of the village kind of disturbed, knowing that someone like that is running free in the city. Well, long story short, Sasuke basically says, if this happens again, I'm gonna be the one that kills you. And we don't know if Momoshiki can come out of Boruto anymore, because Momoshiki used the rest of his karma to like rewrite his data into Boruto's code in order to save his life and save Boruto's life at the same time. It's possible that Momoshiki might not be able to come out anymore, and he might just be this like ghostly figure that can communicate with Boruto for the rest of the series. But Sasuke's basically saying, I'll be around. If he ever does come out again, I'm gonna kill you. Now Sasuke and Naruto do get alerted that Konoha is being infiltrated right now by Code and Eida, and Shikimaru actually doesn't want them to come fight because he thinks that even Naruto and Sasuke will be helpless against Eida's infatuation ability. So now we go back to Kawaki waking up in the hospital bed and Naruto's talking to him. Naruto's seriously diehard protecting Kawaki from any consequences, even though Kawaki killed his own son just a few chapters ago, but of course Boruto came back alive. But that's when Ino contacts Naruto and lets him know that there is invaders in Konoha. They tell Sasuke Sasuke as well, so he and Boruto are going to, I guess, confront Eida and Code, but they don't show up yet by the end of the chapter, so I'm assuming Naruto, Sasuke, and Boruto will all arrive in the next chapter, and potentially Kawaki as well. So now we go back to Best Girl, who is walking towards Shikamaru. Now Shikamaru is actually able to use his Kagemani no Jutsu because it doesn't actually inflict any damage. It's not like a life-threatening attack, and Eida is actually very surprised that Shikamaru is the first person that's ever been able to use an ability on Eida at all, and she's like amazed by it because I guess any other person in her entire life who's ever tried to attack her simply stopped in their tracks and just became completely infatuated with her. But what that tells us is there is potentially a solution to beat her. It appears that Shikamaru doesn't have a long time to use his shadow binding jutsu on her, but it did actually work. So if they somehow escape, I think Shikamaru will be the key in defeating Eida, but we don't know that they're gonna escape necessarily yet. So first, let's get to that point. So Shikamaru is talking to Ino telepathically, and he asks Ino, can you link my brain to Amado so I can talk to him without speaking, so nobody else can hear us, and tell me who is Eida and how do we counter her? And again, I really love the expressions of panic and terror on Amado's face. For the most part, we've seen him be incredibly calm for the entirety of the series, and feel like there's something fishy about this guy. He's always brewing some sort of master plan. But in this case, as he explains that nobody is invulnerable to her power, I mean, he is completely terrified by her, and that is perhaps why he locked her up. I believe he did say at one point that the cyborgs are even more powerful than Jigen, which I believe to be absolutely crazy. I mean, I guess he created them because he wanted them to defeat Jigen as maybe a last resort, but they were too powerful and too out of control. Kind of reminds me of Dragon Ball Z, right? Like Android 17 and 18. And as he explains, her power will cause different people to have different effects like headache, vertigo, fever, impaired judgment, stiffened muscles. Different people get different symptoms. Long story short, you just simply cannot attack this woman. So you'd have to use some kind of jutsu that's like doesn't do damage, exactly like Shikamaru's shadow binding technique. And Amado says, don't even try to kill her. It's completely futile to resist. And if you keep resisting, you can damage your mind. So she's so powerful in that respect that if you try to fight off her ability, it can like break your brain, which is just like, it's just God mode. I mean, what are they supposed to do to defeat her, right? So under all of this pressure, Shikamaru can't hold his shadow binding jutsu anymore, which was also holding Code in place as well. So it's gonna release, and that's actually gonna free up Code, who's gonna take it upon himself to push Amado up against a wall, and he starts using one of his claws to pierce Amado's chest, and it looks like crazy painful. And the entire point of this invasion, which we kind of knew was coming, is so that Amado will release the limiter that is on Code. So when Code gets this limiter released, you can expect an unbelievable power increase, potentially even stronger than Ishiki, confirmed by Amado, stronger than Jigen, who was pretty much Ishiki, right? So I had thought that maybe Code was gonna use the claw mark that was on Shikamaru, come in, grab Amado, and dip, but it appears that he's gonna try and get him to say the magic words to release his limiter. So Amado needs to use some sort of voice command in order to unlock the limiter on Code. And I don't know what kind of powers he's gonna get. Does he just get increased strength and chakra? Can he use more of the white karma? I'm not really sure, but it's without a doubt going to happen, probably in the next chapter. If Naruto, Sasuke, and Kawaki all arrive, Code might escape with Eida and just simply take Amado with him, to which the next pseudo arc in this saga would be an invasion of Bug's secret hideout, where Damon also is, the little boy that if you try to attack, you die. So Shikamaru comes up with a plan here, and he asks Eida, why are you helping Code? To which she says she has a crush on Kawaki, and this kind of like surprises everyone, right? And she's all cute and everything when she says it. She's blushing. She's like, oh my god, I said it, you know? It's kind of funny and comical. Nice little comic relief in the middle of this like dire, terrifying situation. And the chapter basically ends with Shikamaru telling Eida, well, if you just want Kawaki, why don't you come over to Konoha? You haven't done anything bad yet. So if you help us out and stop Code, we'll give you Kawaki. But I also don't see any reason why she would say no, because she has confirmed that she is literally only helping Code so that she can boyfriend up with Kawaki. So maybe she'll take the bait. It's possible, but I doubt it. But man, could you imagine her as an ally? Like, she's so powerful that I mean, no enemy could stop her, really. And also in the previous chapters, you gotta realize that Code was pretty much like disobeying her and doing some sort of shady things based on their deal, which she didn't like he was like abusing her trust. And so she doesn't really have like any real bond with Code at all. So I could potentially see her taking this bait, but I think once Naruto, Kawaki, and Sasuke and Boruto all arrive here, things might change up a little bit. My guess is they all get infatuated by Eida, they all collapse, she has some sort of reasoning for not joining Konoha, and then Amado is either going to say the voice command to unlock Code, and then he'll escape, or he'll probably just take Amado with him through that claw mark back to Bug's secret hideout and force him to talk. Overall, this chapter was actually amazing. I mean, there were so many different emotions going through you as you're reading it. Nice art, and I'm simping out for Eida. I love her character, although I do think her ability is really way too OP. Same with Damon. But yeah, guys, we'll see what happens. Thumbs up if you like Eida, and I'll talk to you on the next Boruto video.